Hi, my name's Darren Miller. I'm the CEO of Pacific Urethanes. Today I'm in Dallas, Texas with Michael Osborne, the president of Nukote Technologies. How are you, Michael?
I'm great. Happy to have you here.
Pacific Urethanes has the exclusive distribution rights for Nukote Technologies. Today I'm interviewing Michael to understand Nukote's technologies and more importantly the work we're doing together in the Australian market. Michael, for those unfamiliar with Nukote, could you just give us an overview of your technologies and your experience?
Sure. Well, company founded in 1998, started in a little backwards for most people. We started in China, India, Middle East, and then moved back into the North American market and Australian markets. We primarily focus on complex engineered solutions. We don't compete in basic waterproofing. So we're into petrochemical, infrastructure rehabilitation, transportation, military, and power generation. Those are our primary markets.
I do want to thank you. Michael just came to Australia recently and we did a road show in WA and Queensland. As part of today's podcast, we just really want to explore the opportunities. So, Michael, what do you think is the biggest shift in how the industry is viewing asset protection and lining solutions?
Well, I think it's kind of more of a shift back the way it used to be, because it used to be 30 years ago when a manufacturer provided a product to an asset owner as a solution, they were tied to it from A to Z, right? That means they were involved from the specification through the implementation to the completion of the project. But in the last 30 years, it shifted to what I call signing blame form. So the manufacturer will specify a product, and then an engineer will do the design, and then a contractor will do the application. But if there's a problem in the project,
Yes.
they all start pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
So the biggest shift that I see in the market is that the clients are starting to demand what they used to have, which was a concerted effort with everybody working together to provide a solution for what they're paying for, right? Instead of having it pieced out. So it's more of they're demanding more of a joint effort, which is, well, they call it a paradigm shift now, but I call it a reversal to the way it used to be, which I think is a better way to do it.
Yeah. We saw that in Australia as we visited customers together.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Nukote's capabilities to really work with a client and really understand what they're trying to achieve. And as we work through with them our partnership is really working with them to deliver their end program cost effectively and efficient. And I see that a big difference with your technologies and your capabilities as an organisation.
Yeah, so in my mind, I mean, there are different pieces of a project puzzle. There's an engineering side of it, there's the contracting side of it, and there's the product specification side of it. So there's three people involved. But really, the purchaser is the asset owner. And it's him that's paying the bill. So I think that the best solution involves providing a solution jointly to the client.
Yes.
That meets kind of a rigid specification instead of trying to abrogate risk, right? Which means that, I mean, I could dig into it a little deeper, but I think what we all owe to the client is, here's your unique solution. They're all different.
Yes. Yep.
And these are the conditions, and here's a product that will meet that. Now, it meets it, but how does it get installed? How does it get implied? How do you make sure it's implied correctly? And how do you make sure the engineering is correct? So those are the three things the client should be concerned about, and that is what the client should purchase, not what I call a la carte, right? They should purchase the whole meal, so
Absolutely.
to speak. And that's kind of the way we go about it. And I'd like to take credit for creating this environment we built at Nukote, but frankly, it came from us working first in Asia and India and the Middle East with a lower level of contractor capability. So we absolutely had to be involved. And so we were involved, and it just became our corporate persona, right? And we've rolled with it for the last 20 years actually, and we're happy where we are in that space. So the question you asked is, what do we deliver to the client? Well, we believe that the client project and his investment is the primary basis for all of us participating and making money. So let's deliver the best we can to that client and do it together and deliver what they're asking for. Yeah. So that's essentially it in a nutshell. Yeah. Right?
So, to me, that what I see is, as you've explained the processes, Nukote's point of difference is that they're not only involved in the working with the asset owner, not only involved in specification, they're also heavily involved in working with the applicator to really ensure that the project is delivered to the asset owner's specifications.
Right.
So I really see that. Are there any other things that you see that Nukote deliver that other companies aren't delivering in the coatings industry?
Well, I'd pretty much say all of it. So I spent about a year trying to figure out how to define the pieces of the puzzle that result in satisfying the client's request. Yeah. And those pieces we finally broke out into 4. And one of them is having a product that is fit to purpose. And a lot of people will push products, they have one and they say, oh, that'll work there, but it really isn't designed to work there. So we have 73 flavors, right? And those flavors are fit for different things, right? So the first thing is defining the product, and then for the client, it's proving the product. So that requires the scholastic level, testing, pilot projects, first projects, historical track record. That proves the performance of the product, but that's only one piece. And that's where we earn and where you earn, right? But the other 3 pieces are very critical too. So you have the product, and then you have what I call specification tech, and that means writing a method statement. That means this is how the product is installed, and you do that with a client, right? And so this is your unique conditions. This is the type of substrate. These are the chemistry. This is the abrasion. All these things that go into it. And so you write an application method statement that says it will be installed like this, very clearly, to the standards defined. And then to make sure it's installed correctly, you develop a quality assurance inspection and testing program that verifies to everyone that it was installed per that specification, right? So now you've got the product and the installation methodology done, right? Now there's 2 other pieces to that puzzle, and one of them, and a very important one, is the application. So there are a variety of applicators with a variety of skill sets, some for mid-sized jobs, some for more complex jobs. And so it's really important that the manufacturer or the representative of the manufacturer create strategic alliances with contractors at various levels of capability to perform this work. And so without that, you can have the first 2 pieces, you have nothing. So they become a very integral piece of the puzzle. So now you've got 3 pieces of the puzzle, but you're still missing one. And that is, in some of these unique conditions that we do, the application equipment becomes very, very important. So this isn't paint. You don't put it on with a brush. It's even in the basic application, you have a $100,000 machine processing the material at temperature and pressure and delivering it to spec, right? But in the more complex sides of it, then you have robotics, where we're using robots to install pipeliners underground or to prepare surfaces, because there's no way you can deliver product 500 meters downstream underground without robotics, right? So those are the 4 pieces, and finding the solutions for those 4 pieces has been a complex 12-year journey of ours to develop them and then find the holes in it and fill all the holes until we have a comprehensive offering. And that's, I'll probably refer to that over and over, but those 4 pieces are what need to be integrated. And that goes back to what I said at the beginning, that the customer should demand that those 4 pieces are delivered together.
Okay.
Right?
Are you finding clients also asking for warranties on their projects?
So, yeah, a client always asks for a warranty, but typically in the last 20 or 30 years, it's gone to a 2-year performance warranty, all on the contractor.
Okay.
And then the manufacturer will provide a warranty. He said, well, if it's installed correctly, we guarantee its performance. But then a problem arises, and they start pointing fingers at each other.
Yes.
And who loses? The customer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So yeah, we developed a process where we are, and I think we're the only ones in the market, only manufacturer in the market who does it, where we take complete responsibility for the total project.
Yeah.
And we offer that to everyone. Some people choose to take it, some people don't.
Yeah.
There is an added cost, but it's reasonable.
Yeah.
And the cost of that compared to the cost of the alternative is minuscule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, let's look at a mine, and they have a process, and if that process fails, it's $1 million a day or $500,000 a day of lost income.
Yeah.
So delivering the product is optimal, right? So yes, we offer warranties, and we, I look at it a couple different ways. And people ask me, in my peers, other manufacturers said, why do you do the warranty? Why do you take the risk? And I said, do you write method statements? They say no.
Yeah.
Do you write quality assurance programs? They say no. I say, do you guarantee the project? They say no, it's all risk. And I said, well, then how do you expect it to get installed correctly? If you're not going to be involved in the method statement and not going to be involved in it being installed correctly, then how can you guarantee it's delivered to the client, really? So we offer a complete turnkey. If there's a problem, it's our problem.
Yeah.
And then we bring the pieces together, who are involved, those 4 pieces together, and fix it, right? Yeah. And I think that's unique in the industry, and I honestly think clients should demand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point back to one of the things you said. We did a demonstration day in WA, which was hugely successful, and a part of that approach is also bringing the asset owners, the applicators together. And the feedback I got from the demonstration day was it was a great demonstration of the robotics, and that is our future going forward. But most importantly, the feedback and talking to the contractors, talking to the asset owners, and as you said, they're not just looking for a technology. They're actually looking for advice, and they need a trusted partners that can be with them from day one to the execution of their projects. Performance improvements can asset owners expect from adopting Nukote technologies?
Okay, so I think again, I'll go back to every project's different, and they are uniquely different, and so you have to have a company that's willing to engage in those unique differences and design and confirm and respond that you have a product that can meet those conditions and duration that they're looking for. And that could be 25 years, it could be 50 years, it could be 5 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so you need to provide an economical solution that's going to 100% deliver that part of it. And the only way you can convince them on the product side is through rigorous testing, which we have done.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, for 10 years we have done.
Yeah.
And then you have to engage with the client, and sometimes the client has their own engineers that do that. Sometimes they go to third party. It's very common that they have third party engineering firm. You work with them to develop the specification that everybody understands, and it takes some time to develop the full specification. Here's the product's primer, surface treatment, all these things that go into it, and then here's how it's going to be applied, and here's how we're going to inspect it to be applied. And that process takes time. And then when you're done with that, then you have to have these strategic alliances with the contractors that I spoke about that are capable, comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
will follow the program,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it is from A to Z that you got a customer has a problem. You identify the problem. You identify the conditions. You work with them
Yep.
or their third party to
Yep.
develop the spec and the documents, and everybody's happy with that solution. And then you got to roll it up into who's the contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have some problems there because they're open tenders, especially on the municipal side,
Yes.
where you've got low bidder wins.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very good at working with even new contractors to develop and train them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're involved with the QA ITP so we can give the client comfort
Yep.
that it was installed as designed.
In reflection, you came down to Australia, and again, thank you, and did a great tour of WA and Queensland.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've been coming to Australia for some time.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing? Are you seeing any changes in the Australian market in reference to coating systems?
I think there's the changes globally, and I think the changes I see in Australia, I like to compare it to Canada because your markets are similar, your populations are similar in the 40 million range, your distances are vast,
Yeah,
right,
yes.
between
Yep.
the cities. And so I see, and your currencies and your social cultural mechanisms are very similar, although you have a little different accent, right? but I think they're the same. And what we're finding is that clients who have historically gone with something that's in a book
Yep.
that doesn't really work, but it sort of works,
Yep.
and they're using it, and then they're having to go back and pay to keep it up to spec and do it over, and so they have a higher cost of our return on investment. I think they're saying that, no, let's do it right the first time. Let's pay 10% more to have it done right the first time, but then we don't have these secondary costs 5, 10, 15 years downstream that slow us down, make us go back to it. They want to do it. They want it to last for a duration. They want to be done with it. And so that is what I'm seeing in Australia, and that's what I'm seeing in Canada and North America and other markets we're in, that this move to a more logical process where they're demanding a certain requirement that we're meeting, and I think our competitors are going to come along. I don't think they'll have a choice. Right?
What do you think our greatest challenge is getting the asset owners and contractors to develop new coat technology?
Okay, so you've probably seen the old diagram of new technology, and there's a pretty good diagram of it where you develop a new technology, and from a testing laboratory standpoint, it's great, right? But then you got to push it out in the market. You got to gain acceptance of the clients. You got to get pilot projects. So that diagram shows a mountain, you're pushing it up, and a chasm before the top. And a lot of new technologies fall into the chasm because they aren't prepared to take it all the way to the top of the mountain. So we has started, let's take just our infrastructure rehabilitation market segment, using aegis liners and pipelines as an example. We started looking at the market in 2012. We challenged patents in 2013 that didn't belong in the space. And then we cleared our path of the patents, and we worked on product development over 2 years to develop our first generation of our PP300 structural product. 2 years with 300 tries before we got it right. That's why we called it PP300. It's a very frustrating long-term process. And then we found out, we need surface conditioners. So we developed HLT for concrete. And then we developed the RP1 for removing oxidation from steel. And then we developed primers to work in these wet conditions. And so all these pieces had to come together. Then we finally had a product portfolio. And at the same time, we're developing robots. And I go into the market, because we're not a robotic company. I go into the market to engage people to develop a robot. And they said, 5 years, $10 million to prototype. And we said, that's not going to work. So we spent $2 million, 6 months, and delivered a prototype. We did it with keying up with strategic partners.
Yep.
Now, we didn't get exactly right. We missed a few things on Gen 1, but we fixed them on Gen 2. And now we're at Gen 6 on these robotics. We're very happy with them. So people who want to do this need to engage in not only the product development that's unique to the conditions, but the surface treatments, all that product offering. Yeah. They have to do all this testing. It's very comprehensive. I mean, if you're doing water, it's different than gravity flow. It's different than, it goes on and on. And then you have to have robotics. And then you get them in the field and find out, okay, these are sort of complicated. Now we need to educate the contractors. And you have to do contractor training programs. And you have to change the mindset of the contractors in the industry who've been treated poorly, I think, in my opinion, in the market, where here's the spec, low bidder gets it, manufacturer's not involved. Yeah. Where we're more like, hey, partner with us, let's attack this together and give the customer something that they need. So it's a different mindset, right? Yeah. So those are the challenges we had, and now we're in Australia, right? We were just there going around Queensland. How many people we meet? 30, I think.
At least.
Yeah, at least, yeah. But we did watch the Melbourne Cup.
Okay, right? We did.
So that was pretty cool. And you're getting a lot of the same type of feedback from the contractors. Almost when we tell them what we do, it's disbelief that we actually do that. Yeah. But we do. And so it's building trust, creating those relationships, and attacking the market together, because actually the contractors make a lot more on a project than we do. Yeah. So they gain. Yeah. And getting the customers say, oh, it's a new technology. What have you done? I hear that so much. I said, you're doing a gravity flow line. Let's say you're doing water. And the customer says, oh, what have you done in Queensland? Well, we just launched it. We haven't done anything in Queensland, but we've done it in China. We've done it in Japan. We've done it in Canada. We've done it in Brazil, right? Yeah. And so getting them over that hump of to be the first is always difficult for the client. That's when the warranty comes in, but we're going to guarantee it, and it's backed by this insurance policy. Yeah. And then they say, well, how can you guarantee it? And my answer to that question, it's a very good question, is, look, it's our product. We designed it. We tested it. We're saying it's going to work. Yeah. It's our specification, our quality assurance program. We designed it. We're saying it's going to work. Yeah. It's our engineering, our engineers. We designed it. We're saying it's going to work. Yeah. There are robotics. We designed them. We use them. We're saying it's going to work. And then this is our contractor we're strategically aligned with. We've trained him. We're comfortable with him. We know it's going to work. So if you know it's going to work, then why wouldn't you stand behind it? Yeah, yeah. And that's the question I would have the clients ask the competitors. Yeah, correct. Why won't you stand behind it? Yeah. Right? So the difficulty for us is, we made a lot of traction when we were there, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. It's been, right? And we met a lot of good contractors, and we're engaging with them. So the key to our success is engaging with the clients and getting them to understand what our offering is. Yep. And then engaging with the contractor so we have that capability to put it together for the contractor. And this has to be done at the same time. Yeah. That is the challenge we have. Yeah. Yeah.
And as you and I have discussed, a part of that we'll do some localised testing to ensure that there is comfort in the Australian market. And a part of that, we're also talking about a training certification for our applicators. Right. Because, as you said, it's imperative that we've got a great technology, and it's very important that we've got applicators that are trained and that we can provide them guidance. And I know you have provided enormous amount of guidance to some contractors, which really makes them successful. So I think, as you said, I think working with them to ensure that we'll localise in Australia. There's potentially some key projects we could do as pilots together with asset owners that we can do proof of concepts. And once they see the proof of concepts, not only through great technology but efficiency, making sure it meets its specification and applied correctly. So I feel we've really got the right structure. Obviously, we've got a couple of people in Australia who've been doing this for 20 plus years, and again, their role is to be out on site working with our asset owners and contractors, actually providing value and working, Michael, with your team to make sure that our number one focus is always to ensure that the end client, we're delivering value. Yeah. So it's that, as you keep saying, it's that entire integration between the three parties that brings success. In saying that, I'm with you. I don't know too many companies that do that. Right. They'll sell a technology and want it to be commoditized. They'll say it's all the applicator. You know, they bear all responsibility, and the asset owner needs to know that there is one solution which involves technology, your technologies, a great partner like Pacific Urethanes, and an applicator. And I think, as we have done over the last 12 months, we'll continue to build that. Yeah. You know, one of the observations I had when you're in WA is Nukote's experience, credibility in delivering very complex projects. And when we were with our customers, you know, they were listening to him like, oh, wow, you know, is this possible? Yes, I've seen it here. Asset owners, contractors, what they require is expertise. They require to talk to people that people who have actually done it, have very successful projects, and Nukote has. We will gain momentum, and a part of gaining momentum is we'll be building case studies in Australia, you're coming out again next year. We're going to do another road show. When are we doing it?
March.
March. Yeah. So we do another robotic show. Michael will be out again, demonstrating the robotics and talking with the market, educating the market. So we'll be doing a show in Queensland and Sydney in March. So we'll send out the details early next year when that's occurring.
I think, let me address a couple of things you said. I think we made really, really good traction the 2 weeks we were in Australia, which was just 2 weeks ago. I'm just barely over the jet lag. Now you're jet lagged.
Now I've got it.
But, so the people are aware of these four parts of the puzzle. They're aware of our capabilities. We just need to bring it together now. And I'm thinking that we're going to do this roadshow again, right? Well, we're thinking Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. I've not decided yet, but Sydney, Brisbane anyway.
Yeah.
And to get the east side of the country. But I think it's more than that. I think that what needs to happen then, if we can make it happen, and you have to allocate resources on your end to do it, I think when I come this March, I should stay for 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah. And I think the reason is that, number one, it's a long way, right? And the second thing is that we do the road show, and then we actually engage with your people and the clients in Sydney and Brisbane and Melbourne and WA, and really, really get that ball clicking with the clients.
Yes.
And then with the key contractors that we want to form strategic alliances with, follow through on that so that when this thing really breaks, and it's going to, then we're prepared to follow through on it. So I think part of the difficulty is not difficult because, as you said, one thing I'm really proud of with Nukote is that we work all over the world, in Africa, in Russia, in Europe, in South America. So every climate, every different kind of level of contracting capability and cultural thing you can, Saudi Arabia, you can find. And there's nobody in this elastomeric chemistry that's done the project of the scale that we have. 100,000 square meter projects, right? In the desert, in the jungle, in very adverse conditions, in conditions people don't even want to go to, right? So we've learned what can go wrong in the worst situation. So knowing what can go wrong in a situation like Australia where the contracting level is quite high is not that complicated, right? So I think together, if we stick with this game plan and create these alliances, we're going to have great success. We've done it in mining. I mean, we've got a couple of the largest projects in Australia going right now in mining, and the same things are applying to this system we offer.
Yeah.
But moving that into this infrastructure rehabilitation market is different. So we have to prove ourselves there. So we need to find the client with the pilot project, as you said, the contractor who's willing to say, that's a market segment we can capture, that we can make money on and deliver a good system, and then bring those things together. And that's our objective. Right?
I mean, when you were in Australia, again, what comes through, we went and saw a current project that we're involved in, and obviously supplying your technology. And you know, you were advisor to, you know, not only the asset owner, but to Pacific and to the contractor. And again, that knowledge is uplifting the capability of the technology. It's making sure, again, that the asset owner is very clear in the work that's being done. And I think it proves one thing, which we've said a number of times today. It's about being really involved, and we are, Pacific Urethanes. Our intent is to really develop partnerships and work with your expertise, so we can deliver the value back to the clients. And we spend a lot of time doing that. We're just not selling the commodity. As you said, we're going back in helping them in the actual specification, making sure that there is rigour done in the level of testing, the level of analysis done, and that sets us apart. And you know, we are Pacific Urethanes absolutely committed in continuing to drive that across the Australian and New Zealand markets.
Well, keep your tennis shoes on. We're not done yet.
No, I'm ready.
Fast. I wanted to talk a little bit. You're exactly right, and I think we have the game plan, and we have the pieces all together. We just need to bring them together, and with the data we have, and the historical references we have, and the people we have, and you have. We can deliver that. And going beyond that, we've in North America, Canada, we just really pioneered this technology. I mean, nobody had seen it before. I mean, other than guys trying to do it without robotics and without the right product, and failures because of that, right? We drove it and proved it, right? And we probably got 100 projects going on right now in North America, right? As a result of it, after really to market, first project 2019. So in 5 years, that's really, I'm really proud of that. And next year we'll probably have 200. But so we have people now trying to mimic what we do. Trying to come up with a product similar to ours, trying to come up with a robotic system, and some of the big guys are trying to do it, right? Which is fine. I welcome qualified competition. But we're already to Gen 8s in robotics that we haven't even talked about, right? We're already at Gen 3 with a new structural poly that is going to deliver quite, and we need to test that. We're doing that right now. Actually, this afternoon we'll go look at it in the plant here. But we're going to be able to an offering. Oh, there's a project, I won't name the name, in Australia, right? That's the first phase of $1 billion project. It was a $20 million project, right? And so I think with this new product, we can make that 15 million. And we can make that 150 million, 100 million to the client with the same solution, right? With this new product. And so we've been a year and a half developing this. We're right there now. We're putting it into the extensive testing, and we've got to put it in some pilot projects, but I think there's a really big future in that. And the other thing we've done, so we're going to reduce the cost, reduce the time on site,
to the asset owner,
by 25%. What you already think is acceptable, now 25% cheaper, even in an economy with inflation and all that stuff. And then the second thing is, our robotic tech that we developed is really good, but it had limitations, right? So it could only go in pipe diameters, and or we're taking two audiences, so 24-inch or 700 millimeter dia and up. right? Diameter pipe. And it could only go 450 feet or 150 meter distance, right? And so now we have this cool new robotic where we've reduced the cost of them by half, number one. Because prototypes are expensive, mass production isn't. And now we have a system. I just did a FaceTime with John's testing it up in Canada right now. I wish you could meet him. You will sometime. But we have one control panel. We have one Gen 8 robot that goes 0.7 meters and up, right? Up to 4 meters. And we can unplug that and plug in a smaller robot that'll do the same orbital, not spin casting, same technology, but from 12 inches to 24 inches. So the contractor doesn't have to buy 2 robotic systems. He doesn't have to pay $250,000 for it. Now he can buy one system for probably around 200 and have one robot for this size, one robot for that side, one control panel, one easily PC access, not code anymore, management system, spare parts. It's a thing of beauty, right? So the point I'm trying to get at is you and I, as the people who are driving this business, you in Australia and me everywhere else, is to continue to improve our offering, to continue to deliver a better system at a lower cost to the owner, right? And that's what we're not going to stop doing that until I can't do it anymore, right? So,
and look at Pacific. Michael, we're committed to building our internal capability, our NACE certification within our group, our support of hardware within our group. We're a Graco distributor, and our model is clear. We work very closely with the applicator to ensure that they're successful. And as you have said, one of the drivers for us is to make sure that our applicators are effective and efficient on site, and making sure pre-maintenance is done, making sure that they've got everything ready to do the first job the right way all the time. Our organisation, that's who we are. I mean, we partner with organisations truly, and we're there all the way. We're there from the day they're starting to the day they're finished. And like we said before, we'll do site inspections, go out and talk to them and the asset owners to see how things are going. And always, and obviously through your and your team's expertise, you're also a part of it, knows what's going on, which is fantastic, because it's the journey through the process which enables efficiency.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that we've always liked the way you guys do your business and carry out business. We're very impressed. You are really probably one of the finest distributors I've seen around the world, the way you do it. And that is not patting you on the back, it's just stating fact, right? And I actually said that to one of my other distributors. I said, yeah, they're a real distributor. He goes, I'm not. And I go, not like these guys. So you should be very, very happy and proud of what the company you developed. I think part of what we need to do, that was hence my comment about staying a while, is, you got a great tech guy in Donovan, and so we need to impart, how these trainings of the contractors work, and these are the modules we use, and this is the key things you need to learn, because it's absorption. He's going to absorb it over years, but let's get him up to speed. And then Scotty out in WA, a fantastic rep with 20 years experience in the industry. Really, really thorough. And then Matt, your biz dev manager, just brilliant, right? Spot on. And then the contractors that were like Next and the Black Bees and then the Duratex and those guys. Great group of guys to work with. So I think that it's on us, Darren, to deliver this now. We have the pieces. And it's just on us to just strike and get it going, and then get into the contractors. And I'm very, very comfortable that we're going to do that very effectively.
So, I am too, Michael. I think I think we are there, and I think I want to thank you. I mean, like us on the reverse side, when we look at technology partners, you have demonstrated to us your great technology, great experience, great capability, and that's how partnerships work. And we should all have our values that we add, and it's our focus. And I love what you talked about, which is what we should be talking about, is we are here today. We are here today to continue to improve technologies, improve robotics, and again working with our clients to making sure that we're adaptable to them. Because, like you said, we can work in any model. We just want to work together, and we all want to learn throughout this process.
Yeah, and learn to, we can't do everything. Anybody says they can do everything is a liar. But we can do a lot.
Yep.
And the important part for the client to know is you get 3 answers from us. We absolutely can, we absolutely can't, or we don't know. We haven't done that before.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Half of the products that we developed and the process we developed are because customers brought something to us that nobody could do.
Yeah.
And we found a way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that is, if you're not improving your tech and your offering and your company, then you're dying.
Yeah.
And I just like to keep improving, and I think we're of the same mindset there. And so in Texas, when you play in poker, I'm all in.
Okay.
So I'm all in. Right?
We're in too.
Okay.
I'd like to thank you, Michael, for today, and thank you for inviting me here today to continue our discussions. If you want to learn more about Nukote Technologies, please call Pacific Urethanes, and we're happy to help. And more importantly, we're happy to partner. And so give us a call, and we'll help you with your solutions.
And I'm looking forward to supporting you as you move down that road. So thanks for coming.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, really appreciate it. And you're going home what, tomorrow?
I'm going home tomorrow.
You're going to be jet lagged for a while.
I will be.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.